Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for being here. My name is Luis Fernando Rubio. I'm Telecom Director from Everest, and I just want to give you a brief overview of the Catalyst project before the panel. This Catalyst project, we had Telefónica as champion. We as Everest have been the leader of the program, and we had Nokia, Verbio, Salesforce, and Blue Prism as the participant. So, just a brief introduction of the phase one of this project. In this project, the idea is to introduce artificial intelligence in the contact center channel. That is a contact where a telco operator wants to improve customer experience and also reduce costs in operate this contact center as a consequence of this transformation. And the idea in this phase one was to introduce a virtual agent that replaced the IVR and the front end of the contact center, and to offer several resources behind the virtual agent, okay, like a bunch of TM4 open APIs and the possibility to transfer the call to a service desk agent. So in this phase one, we use voice recognition technology, natural language processing, open APIs exposed in a AP management platform and a diagnosis solution. In this second phase, we want to address high-value services customer, okay, in a proactive way. We don't want customer to call the contact center. The idea in this phase is using a big data event processing events solution to anticipate the customer and to make a predictive and proactive interaction with the customer, okay, by using different channels, not only a voice channel, but also using WhatsApp and augmented reality, okay? And a Salesforce chatbot and a B2B application, because we want to introduce this solution to the internal user of the telco operator, ¿vale? To the Salesforce team, for example, okay? And this is the architecture. In this, these are the components that we maintain from the phase one of the project, where we have the CTA and the Verbio voice recognition and text-to-speech solution. The core components on the solution and the orchestrator or the conversational flow was the Everest virtual agent that was using natural language processing services from Microsoft and Salesforce and Nokia. In this second phase, we have included this big data event processing architecture using open source solutions, okay, and a repository where all the information coming from the network and from BSS are going to be stored. So the real-time triggering, the real-time decision from Nokia is going to decide when to interact with the customer. Okay? And this interaction can be done by voice channel, but also by WhatsApp, mobile application, and augmented reality. One important innovation that we have introduced in this phase is the integration with a technical bot. Okay, the idea here is to kind of simulate a real customer care model, where we have a commercial bot that is relying on different specialized bot. In this case, a technical bot from Nokia that is using, in this case, a different natural language processing engine. Okay, we have also the MuleSoft API management to provide information to the Everest virtual agent, and a Blue Prism RPA to automate different tasks. Okay, so the idea of this phase is to combine different technologies. In phase one, we focused on artificial intelligence, and in this phase is a combination of data analytics, artificial intelligence, and automation. And we believe that combining all this technology and addressing a specific use case, we can gain a lot of benefits by automatizing and digitalizing processes. So this is an overview of the work that we have done.
Thank you very much. Please come and join us. So just before we launch into the questions, let's start with a couple of introductions. So let's start at the far end, please.
So the first, my name is Maria. I'm manager of Everest, and I'm responsible of virtual assistant knowledge area. and we are one of the project leaders in Catalyst.
Hi, my name is Arantxa Castro. I am the champion of this project from Telefónica, and I am a senior manager architecture.
You represented yourself, fair enough. So, coming to our champion first of all, what were the outcomes of the first phase? We just heard from Luisa this is the second phase. So what were the outcomes of the first phase that then motivated you to go on to this second phase of the Catalyst?
Okay, thanks to the first phase of the Cognitive Contact Center, we introduced a virtual agent with artificial intelligence in a contact center, so that certain interaction of our customer were automatically resolved without human interaction. In addition, this has helped us to increase customer satisfaction, since we have passed from the traditional IVR system where the customer has to press and select his option to the case where the customer simply expresses with natural language their need, and then this virtual agent will resolve it automatically. This is what we have been implementing in Peru and Colombia, and also we are deploying in other countries. So, seeing these benefits from the last year, and also that we have reduced the number of incoming calls to the call center, we decided to evolve this phase in a second phase, but in a broader vision. And the first thing we thought was, what else we can do? And then we changed our mind, and then decide to put this virtual agent in more complex processes, but with different point of view, anticipating, being predictive and proactive. And also we decided to put this virtual agent for our Salesforce team in order to help them to generate proposals for our customers, for the small and medium business segment.
Okay, that's really interesting. So it becomes from an aid to solve problems to this, as you were saying, anticipating and proactive, and now becomes actually a commercial tool as well. So what were the challenges when working on this proactive solution on that part of the project?
We did two use cases, one for the B2C segment, and for that case, nowadays the problem was that when we sell a product to our customer, we just monitor it for the 31st days of use. And then we try to resolve all the incidents of the network without knowledge of the customer. But then we want to automate it and do it for the whole life of our customers. Then this will give us a lot of benefits, as you guess. And also, we wanted to do it in a predictive way, calling the customer and giving him a very good service assurance. And also, we decided to include this predictive and proactive way in the recommendation offers, in order to give him the best solution and the best offer for that customer, customizing the offer.
Complementing Arantxa, the idea of these use cases was based on the power of the information. Okay, we decided to put together different sources, different kinds of information both coming from the network, information coming from the BSS, and we have the architecture ready to include other sources of information, like for example, social network. Social network can be a very valuable information if you combine with network and BSS information. So the idea here is to put together different sources of information and try to predict what is happening with the customer, and try to anticipate and try to offer, for example, a new movie package, try to verify if everything is going well with their services. So this is the idea. And it's important to remark the approach was to have an end-to-end vision of the process. Our strategy was going use case by use case, taking one use case and see the end-to-end process from the customer, from the monitoring until the end of the case, until the solving and the automatization tasks that need to be accomplished to fulfill in an end-to-end vision the process. So that was one of the keys of the project.
And I imagine this proactive service also helps reduce customer churn and increases loyalty, which is so important these days as competition is so high and as customers are so demanding. So I guess it helps on that side as well. It's really important from a business perspective. And Arantxa, you were mentioning 2 use cases. One was B2C. Can you tell us a little bit more about the B2B one?
Yeah. Yes, of course. As you know, in the telco sector, we have several difficulties. For example, rotation of our Salesforce team or long training periods for these people because, as you know, catalogs are so extended, and also a very competitive and aggressive market when they generate offers. For that, our challenge was to speed up this process and accelerate it in order to give the customer a very good proposal in a much smaller time, but also including artificial intelligence in order to select an effectiveness offer because we search it in our history sales. So for that, we are going to increase the customer satisfaction because we know what they want and we know their needs. Yeah, and then this will be amazing for that.
So in the B2B use case, at the end is the same, it's combining different technologies. In this case, the information that we are managing is information, historical information of the quotation, the configuration of, for example, a BPM product. Okay, when it comes to make an offer to a customer related with a medium complex product like a BPM, for example, is very difficult for the sales executive to decide a configuration that can be successful. So the idea here is to use the historical information of configuration, quotation, the success, and learn automatically about this success and change dynamically the recommendation for the Salesforce executive. So the idea is to, like in B2C, to put at disposal of the Salesforce the idea of a cognitive contact center. Okay.
Great. So we've heard about now the customer-centric aspect, of course, and the commercial aspect. But from an architectural perspective, what were the challenges there, and what had to be done in this project? What was done in this project?
Okay, so although last year we had a lot of challenges, this year we have improved that challenge, and we have added more technologies and more complex use cases. So in that case, we have the first challenge is we have included the Nokia technical bot. So we have the main bot that is Eva, but Nokia already have developed his own bot to manage technical problems. So instead of develop again all this conversation in the main bot, we have integrated using microservices pattern with this bot, and we use this conversation in the moment that we detect that the client has gone to monitor and diagnose his network. So this bot is with another technology, is with Dialogflow, is a Google solution, and in the main bot is a Microsoft with the Luis solution. And this is very important because if Nokia develop another specific bot, we can reuse this integrating in our architecture. And another challenge is the productivity, because we have to detect what is making the customer, how he's managing his products. So for that we have developed the data intelligence component. We store in real time all the information about the customer, about the sales that are doing the sales executives, and we store this information in Elastic. And then we use a product from Nokia that is real-time triggering. Real-time triggering has some business rules that are designed, and in the moment that one of these business rules are executed, the trigger invokes to Eva, and Eva starts the conversation with the customer and select the preferred channel. You can select your WhatsApp. In Spain, it's one of the most popular channel of Messenger, or you can prefer call the phone. Okay. So this is what we use to resolve the productivity. And then it's that we use more than 20 technologies and solutions. So it's very complicated to integrate this in an architecture to resolve an end-to-end use case. And so I think that it's not just the providers, just the providers have more than one solution. So it has been a hard work during these 2 months. It's just not the technical point of view. It's almost the management point of view to have all the meetings. We have worked with Nokia, but not just Spain Nokia, just with US people. So this has been very, very difficult. And then all these solutions include 2 open source solutions. Okay, and I think that these are the most important challenges in this phase.
One thing more, I think the idea of have a bot ecosystem is very powerful because it allows telco operators to reuse solution and reduce bots that are implemented across the world. And this is very aligned with a microservices architecture because each bot can have their own management release cycle and can be developed and by different squads in an agile method. So it's an idea very, very powerful.
Yes.
And with Telefónica, I think that we are doing a very good job and start deploying in some countries.
So that's really great. You're actually deploying that and in several countries. And as you were saying, Maria, you know, using a diverse network of partners and not just localized. So it really is spreading fast. So are you guys going to carry on with this project moving forward? Is there another phase planned?
Yeah, this is the idea. The idea is to continue evolving. Probably the name of the project is not going to be Cognitive Contact Center Phase 3, okay, because we are seeing that the concept of Cognitive Contact Center, I think, is not the most accurate way to name this great project that we have done. But at the end, we want to enter a little bit more in the network domain. We are sure that if Telefónica is agree, we will have another iteration of this project.
Fantastic. Well, that's a great example of a successful project. So for anyone out there who is thinking about either starting a new Catalyst or integrating an existing team, what would your recommendations be for them? Any advice?
One important recommendation is try to get involved the champion from the very first beginning.
Yes.
I think that the champion involvement is critical in this kind of project because they know the business, they know the business challenges, and it's very important to validate, to be clear from the very first beginning of what challenges we want to address. So the champion involvement is something very, very critical in this project.
Yes.
And another important thing is to take a pragmatic approach, to take something that is something that already exists and try to look to the future and look how we can move forward and evolve and integrate different components, but in a pragmatic point of view, trying to solve a real problem of the telco operator. Okay?
Great. Thank you very much. Do we have any questions for our panel from the audience? If not, do you know the number of your booth?
Yes.
A10. So go and visit these guys at A10, have a chat, see how you can get involved.
And we have a lot of demos of augmented reality, WhatsApp.
Go and check that out. Lots of demos. AR is pretty cool. I need to try that. I'll come by.
Okay, thank you.
So finally, I want to thank Telefónica team, on Arantxa, Javier García, José González for the support from the very first beginning. Our partners team with Sonia and Bipin from Nokia, Alberto from Salesforce, Jordi Torres from Verbio, and every team, of course, led by Raquel Vadillo. So thank you.
Thank you,
everyone.
you too.
Thank you, everybody. Thanks.